Throughout the late 1900s, a powerful revolution swept over Africa. Known by the Sankofa movement, the Cultural Renaissance influenced African art and society immensely. The movement centered around the African proverb, Si wo wer fi na usankofa a yenki, which translate as, "It is not wrong to go back for that which you've forgotten." Sankofa surrounded the idea that the African people had to remember their past in order to further build their futures. African artists aimed to combine ancient African traditions with modern European technique. One of the most popular artists of the movement was El Answi, a Ghana native born in the 1940s. Answi attended the College of Art in central Ghana before going on to teach at the University of Nigeria. While he was there, he joined the Nsukuka group, which strived to combine the traditional practice of Yoli designs with contemporary work. It was with this group that Answi found his artistic inspiration and began to flourish as he created African work with a modern twist. Answi's works were not conventional, however. Instead of using traditional mediums, Answi used recycled materials such as clay and wood. Answi's works were flexible and could change shape depending on the space that they're placed in. El Answi is known for his abstraction in his works and the way that he utilizes coloration throughout his pieces. His style is very vibrant and stands out among other pieces. Answi combines the historical techniques of African art with modern European art in a unique style, utilizing symbolism and making statements throughout his work. Answi has had a successful career thus far. He has received numerous awards and had his pieces published in galleries across the globe, including the Metropolitan and MoMA in New York, and the Centre Pompidou in Paris. In April 2015, Answi won the Golden Lion for Lifetime Achievement. 2 years later, in 2017, he was the first Ghanaian to win an international art prize when he was awarded the Premium Imperial. However, amongst all of his accomplishments, perhaps Answi's most known work is The Old Man's Cloth, a piece he created in 2003. Made from aluminum and copper wire, the large tapestry currently hangs in the Harn Museum of Art in Gainesville, Florida, though the piece is made from objects found across the ocean in Africa. In order to construct the work, Answi first collected liquor bottle caps around his home in southern Nigeria. He then flattened the caps and attached them using copper wire. The final product was a colorful array of all different caps, making the work both visually appealing and captivating. The rough texture and flow of the piece make it unique compared to other works that are made from traditional mediums. The pattern that the bottle caps are placed in add movement and new meaning to the work. Although the work is imperfect, with jagged edges and uneven sides, the flaws are representative of a new art form. Art grows out of each particular situation, and I believe that artists are better off working with whatever their environment throws up, said Answi in 2003. But perhaps the most interesting and important part of The Old Man's Cloth is the symbolism hidden within the piece. Answi adds details throughout the tapestry that tell the underlying meanings and reasons behind it. The Old Man's Cloth is a statement on African history and their relationship with Europeans over the years. As stated on Khan Academy, the gold coloring of Old Man's Cloths represents Ghana as a British colony, when it was previously called the Gold Coast in the early 1900s. This reference back to colonial time periods reminds people of the times when Europeans ruled over the African colony. Answi takes a deeper stab at European and African relationships, with references to the transatlantic slave trade. The bottle cap makeup of the work symbolizes alcohol as an important commodity that was often traded out of Europe to Africans on the slave route, in exchange for other goods. The flow and movement of the piece in a curvy fashion represents the waters of the Atlantic Ocean during the slave trade and reminds both Europeans and Africans of the history of their brutal relationship. The Old Man's Cloth is comparable to the piece Pisupa Lua Af, or Corned Beef 2000, by Michael Tuffery, because both pieces tell a powerful statement through the use of color contrast, recycled materials, and large proportions. While Corned Beef 2000 tackles the issue of obesity, Old Man's Cloth addresses slavery. However, both encourage the use of unconventional items such as bottle caps and cans to portray their work. These pieces are both from the global contemporary content area, in which diverse art forms are considered according to perceived similarities in form, content, and artistic intent over broad themes, which include existential investigations, socio-political critiques, as well as reflections on the natural world, arts history, popular and traditional cultures, and technological innovation, which was from EK 101B. This statement applies to both pieces because they are reflecting on social issues through diverse art forms. The Old Man's Cloth is more than just a visual masterpiece, but it is an educational and controversial piece that has raised discussions about the relations between Europeans and Africans. Yet, it also raises thought about the idea of Sankofa and combining both African tradition and modern techniques in order to create a work of art. Answee's Old Man's Cloth made waves in the art world for many different reasons, and he continues to advance his talents and make works that are being displayed across the world. His voice, though unique, is heard throughout the world, and his art is exhibited in some of the most prestigious. Working out of Africa, Answee has made a name for himself across not only America, but the entire art community. He is inspirational, innovative, and idealistic. The Old Man's Cloth, hanging from a wall in Central Florida, will continue to teach audiences about the importance of tradition and authenticity.